Well guys, we got a decent article here from James Delingpole, conveying my feelings almost exactly when it comes to Boris Johnson and his plush pad that he apparently paid for by hook or by crook to shut up his winding axe wound. Because we all know it's Princess Nutnut who pushed for this expensive makeover, likely with all the manipulative tactics you would expect from this eco-warrior trout that has forced Boris to do something shady to shut her up. Yes, he might have broken electoral law, donation laws and all this good stuff, but in all honesty I don't care about that. I want him banged to rights for his willful destruction of this country's economy, the devastation done to families up and down the country thanks to his policies and general shitweasel behaviour, that as you know is turning this country into a communist medical security state, with tosspots left and right calling for medical apartheid or waterboarding yourself.
For me, it's a no-brainer. From a business point of view, it's a must. And, you know, the quicker that everybody acknowledges that, without proof of the vaccine, you can't go into a pub, club, restaurant, gymnasium, anywhere at all. You can't travel, theatre. You can't even go into work. I mean, personally, I have to say, I don't even think that we should allow people on the streets unless they've had the vaccine.
And they want the message to be out there that even on a beach, if you're looking at those pictures that we've just seen, if you're on a crowded beach, there's a risk of transmission. And in theory, if you go swimming in the sea, you should be wearing a mask.
These are the sort of things I want Boris in the dock for. Actually, fuck the dock. Send him straight to the tower, the treacherous fuck pig. In fact, cram all 650 MPs in the tower because it's where they belong for their crimes against the people. Personally, I would go medieval on every one of these scumbags. The law in my mind is too weak. Their actions over the last year literally feel like treason to me. And we all know the 1600s and before then had the right way of dealing with treacherous fuck pigs like that. But James Delingpole rightly calls out the mainstream media's obsession with this story, when as we know they could literally bring down Boris Johnson and his bullshit in a heartbeat. They literally just have to tell the truth. So to me, and indeed to James Delingpole, this is just a smokescreen that it appears to be, used to draw attention away from the piss-poor numbers being reported every day that literally just keep dropping, much like they did last year as the summer arrived. And of course they're going to use this to skirt around the fact that Boris Johnson and his piss-weak puppet government are turning the country into a tyrannical hellhole that Kim Jong-un would actually be proud of. In fact, you never know, North Korea might be nice this time of year it's getting that bad. We might not be there yet, but we're certainly not far off. Now he also points out something else that is important in the millions needlessly unemployed thanks to the furlough policies pushed out by Boris, Hancock and the rest of these septic spots on the arse of humanity. So you know what, let's quickly go through it and see what he actually has to say. It says Bojo and Princess Nutnut's interior decor is an MSN smokescreen. That I would 100% agree with. Here he talks about tidying up the palace and all that shit. I don't really care about that. You lot can read it. I'll link it in the description if I remember. He is essentially saying some of what I said earlier on though. He does say he couldn't care where the money come from and all this nonsense, which to be honest I don't really care where it comes from. I only care about the story in the sense that I hope it brings him fucking down and gets everything out there that we need out there to expose these snivelling shitweasels. Aside from that, I don't care if he spends 10 million on tidying up the place. Who gives a flying fuck either way? And shit, even if he's spending 200,000 or 100,000 on doing up the place with using public money, I don't even care about that. Let's be honest, he's spent something like 300 and something billion already. Couple of 100,000 isn't even gonna fucking touch the side, is it? He also talks about here the Electoral Commission, which we know is a lefty-controlled organisation, but they are investigating Boris Johnson, the snivelling shitweasel, for this. It's amazing how no one's investigating him for all the things that he should be investigated for, though to be honest I'll take the Electoral Commission looking into some shit. If anything, it could well spell the end of Hancock, while I don't think it will see the end of Boris Johnson. Getting rid of Hancock will obviously be a benefit to this country. He says, but the second and more important reason why I loathe this non-story is that it's the most disgraceful and deliberate distraction from a much bigger scandal. Yeah, the entire year we have been living through, or what is it, like 403 days now. You know, the longest 14 days to flatten the fucking curve you've ever known in your life. He says the scandal is that under Boris Johnson's puppet governance, Britain has descended into a tyrannical hellhole, where soon you won't even be allowed to leave the island unless you've submitted to one of his vaccine passports. Which, as you know, they are desperate to bring in the fucking snivelling shitweasels. We have been fighting against this and will continue to do so. It says Britain is a free country no longer. It's also going to become an increasingly expensive one as the government starts turning the thumbscrews in order to force whatever is left of the tax-paying economy to subsidise the eye-watering sums Chancellor Rishi Sunak has squandered on furlough for the millions rendered needlessly unemployed by Westminster's Chinese coronavirus response. By September last year, the UK government had already spent over £192 billion on policy decisions in response to COVID. Public borrowing for 2020-2021 is scheduled to be £317 billion above the government's original plan, so you can tell the spending spree is far from over. And you can also tell we're spending the exact same amount of money as if we would have voted in fucking Corbyn. Though, to be honest, at this point, we probably would be at 600 billion. I think he wanted to spend 100 and something billion as it is. He would certainly spend a fuckload more money than Boris, but to be honest, I don't think he would be much worse aside from that. Boris is a complete fucking cunt, as you know.